Wait, you're playing now? That part of the routine?
No, I'm playing Unalived.
Unalived.
Mm.
Solo man.
Okay. Playing. I did preface it with playing.
Yes. We're back, baby.
Yeah, we sure is.
I got a new thing just in case I say something like, holy
Son of a
say it again.
bitch.
What kind of shit is that?
Whoa.
What kind of shit indeed?
We got a lot to unpack today. You want to do a podcast?
I do, man. Heck
Let's
yeah, man.
do it.
Unidentical.
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 Welcome back to the Unidentical podcast with myself, Jason Collings, and my co-host, as always,
David Collings.
and super producer Solo Man here
Hello.
at the podcast place in Long Beach, California. Make sure you continue to like and rate and review at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeart, wherever it is that you download your podcast. Make sure you leave us a 5-star rating and a review, and it helps. If you want to watch us on YouTube, go to that. Go to YouTube, check it out. Search Unidentical Pod. Make sure you like, subscribe, ring the notification bell so you know when anything new is coming at you, like this episode right now. Also, everything Unidentical, one-stop shop. Go to unidenticalpod.com. That's unidenticalpod.com for everything Unidentical, including merch, links to our audios, links to our videos, links to the links. Also, there is a banner on that website to my special that is on Amazon Prime right now. You can go to that. Look at that there. Look at that there.
It's you.
And I will definitely be listing. We're gonna start doing that. Tour dates on the podcast as well. I do have some dates coming up here. I am gonna be in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm gonna be on the road with my old pal Chris D'Elia. I'm gonna be on some of his road dates. I'm gonna go hang out with him on the road and do some spots. April 6th.
April 6th.
Saginaw, the Temple Theater. I will be there. And April 4th, I'll be in Grand Rapids with Chris D'Elia at the DeVos Performance Hall. Those 2 dates, I will be there for those.
Nice.
So if you're in that area and you're watching this pod or listening, I'm gonna be on the road with my old buddy Chris D'Elia. Also, May 2nd through the 5th, I will be in Laughlin. That's Nevada. Laughlin, Nevada, May 2nd through the 5th, I believe is those dates. Also, I
Kind of
will...
goes back to what we talked about with the British accent. Shouldn't it be called Laughlin?
Laughlin, right. Laughlin.
Why?
Laughlin.
That's how it's spelled. Isn't it spelled like
That's right. What else do I have? I've got some stuff coming up. I'm doing The Crow on in Santa Monica. Me and Brian Callen will be co-headlining that. Brent, Morin, and I will be together again in May sometime at the Irvine Improv. So just go to those people's websites and it'll tell you what we're doing and where we are and why we're doing it.
all the links are in the description.
All the links will be in the description for my dates coming up. We'll add all those in the description. Thank you, David, because I don't do that. I'm computer illiterate. I'm a lot of things. What was that?
You beat me to it.
So wait, you were asking me the definition of CPU, so he's your CPU.
Yeah, my
In
brother's
this
my
case.
CPU. Whatever
There you go.
that means. You're my CPU instead of my CFU.
Yeah. I'll be your
You my CPU, stank booty. I am obsessed with him, by the way.
What's that kid's name?
Oh man, he goes by a mailman something, but he's so funny. I think he's opening for Gary Owen
Okay.
on the road ski, and man, is this dude. Here he is. Sean Fogelson. Sean Fogelson is so funny. If you don't know who Sean Fogelson, I want to meet him so bad. He's so hilarious, but he talks in this way.
Is he
is
the
just
guy that
so
Carlos is
funny.
always sending us
This dude.
Our buddy Carlos?
This dude.
He's always sending us this?
Like a booty.
Yep, that's him.
You riding to the show. Look at this.
I love him. Anyways, I'm obsessed with him, so I've been calling everybody Stanko Booty. Stank. I've been calling everybody that.
I love it.
Yo, one of the things I wanted to talk about today, actually the only thing I want to talk about today is all of this stuff that's going down with Sean, Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Diddy Combs, the man with too many
This
names.
Unbelievable.
The man
Insane.
with way too many names. So what happened this week, a couple days ago, is both of his homes were raided. His East Coast and his West Coast homes were raided by Homeland Security and a bunch of other people, organizations
At the same time.
at the same time. Which when they said his West Coast and his East Coast home, because he's always talking about New York and New York, this New York. I thought for sure it would be in New York. Guy doesn't live in New York. Guy lives in Los Angeles and he lives in Miami.
Miami, yeah.
Mhm. So both of those homes got raided, and apparently this guy is being accused of trafficking,
Right.
and SAing several people. And there's a lot of people that are coming forward with their stories, and they say they got the receipts and they got the footage and this and that. But people are releasing stuff on YouTube that's insane.
Right
guy-
when it came out, that news, I started looking at this. This is an onion, man, with so many crazy layers.
Right?
Things that are all kind of pointing to him or
Mhm.
attached to him or connected to him,
Yeah.
whether it's alleged or whatever, but just the things that are
Yeah.
being said are pretty.
And then you look,
Interesting, man.
and then you look into it and you realize, just like anything like this, it's not new. This has been
No, yeah.
boiling over for decades.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the stuff that's out there about him being,
P Diddy, we're talking about P Diddy here.
P Diddy, about him being a homosexual and SAing men to further their careers and the things that people are allegedly saying. This guy,
Who's this guy?
his name is Hood N. Julio, I think is his name. And he released an audio of what he claims is Diddy and Meek Mill diddying each other.
What's this guy's name? This person that's claiming this?
I don't know.
Oh,
At this point, it doesn't matter.
Also,
Right,
it
so
doesn't
someone's
matter.
claiming
Also,
that
the
he-
N-word is in his name, so I don't want to say it.
So he has this recording, is what you're saying?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Allegedly.
Yeah, he's got this recording. He says he was at a party. He claims that he was allegedly at a party where Diddy, apparently, from what he says, was roofing all the drinks.
Okay.
And this guy says, I don't drink. I'm a smoker. So next thing he knows, Diddy and Meek go in another room, and then he goes up to the door and can hear him just giving it to him.
Diddy?
So he was getting diddied. So he put his phone there and apparently recorded what we're hearing, which is two men just going at it, right?
Right. But
Which, by the way, when I say allegedly, he could have easily recorded anything off of Pornhub.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, that's what I was
that's not proof of anything. But then it goes further, and people say, well, actually, this guy, if you look at his past and stuff, and the people that he's had around him, you guys, Usher just did a.
you're saying when you mean P Diddy?
P Diddy.
Okay.
Usher did an interview on Howard Stern where he talked about him moving in with Diddy when he was only like 14, 15 years old, and staying up and seeing the parties and the things that he saw. And he wouldn't go into detail, but he's like, I experienced some stuff, man. And it was a great experience, and he's all that. And then Robin says, okay, you're a father now. Because Diddy had this thing that he called flavor camp or something like that, right? Where he would have these people come and stay with him, and he would, what sounds like groom them. But then Robin, Howard's sidekick, says, okay, you're a father now. Would you let your kid go to Diddy camp? And Usher promptly responded, hell no, right? And she's like, there you go, which is crazy because then that they ended up parting ways. And there's a really creepy video of them at a party together. It's Diddy, Usher, and Kevin Hart. And Diddy's obviously drunk in the video, and he's talking about how, me and this kid when he was 10 years old, we used to fight over the breakfast cereal like they were spending the night together. And
right.
At one point, Kevin Hart starts laughing and goes, did you hear what you just said? You're dumb. You know what I mean?
It's great. Like I feel like I even saw a video where he caught himself like incriminating himself.
Oh yeah, you could tell he like.
What you're
stuttered
seeing a
little
lot lately are these videos of Usher and talking about those times and saying I saw some things that I just at 13 or whatever shouldn't have seen and didn't really understand.
Right.
Those are that's what he's saying.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you hear about he did the same thing with what's that kid's name? Baby.
Biebs.
Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber ended up living
Yeah,
at his house with
Diddy.
him at a very interesting
Maybe.
age.
Oh wow.
And being taught the ways of the world apparently. But
yeah, remember I saw some clip where he was gonna take him out. He was giving him a car. He was P Diddy was giving Jabib's a car.
J-Beeb's a car.
And it was like a Lamborghini or something crazy. And then anyway, he's like, and you're gonna get this house. what do you want to do now or something? And he was like, yeah, let's just go pick up girls. And apparently that's the thing. He would take them out to these nightclubs and parties and things that guys those age shouldn't be at, you know.
And then think about the people at the club. Just because it's Diddy, they're like, all right, this kid can get in, come in.
Interesting.
I mean, everybody's breaking rules. When it comes to money,
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's though that it starts though with that whole person in power
yeah,
abusing that position.
yeah.
And from what you were telling me, you were kind of doing some research, like this kind of a pattern.
You got to go back
yeah.
to how Diddy started his career and where he came from and how he was taught.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was just a kid, he was first of all, he was a really good student in school. He was an A+ student, and he went to like a Montessori school, so he wasn't like going to a rough school.
Right.
But he was a kid from the hood at a Montessori school, so that could be a little rough sometimes and a little, off-putting socially in that. But smart kid, got himself in what is it over there in DC? Howard University.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. I just saw something on this where he went to, but it was
He got into college.
one of those.
And he was in college in DC, but one of his buddies, that was him and remember Heavy D?
Yeah.
Heavy D and P Diddy were buddies when they were kids. When they were back in the day, they were friends. And then Heavy D, was a rapper and a dancer and all that stuff. And he got a record deal with
Heavy D and the Boys. Yeah.
yeah, he got a record deal with Uptown Records, which was run by a guy named Andre Harrell.
Mm-hmm.
And Andre Harrell was the CEO and founder of Uptown Records. And Diddy wanted to be in the music industry. So his buddy Heavy D says, come meet Andre. And Diddy meets Andre, and Andre takes an immediate liking to him. Like kind of, from what I understand and heard in interviews, a very unhealthy liking for that man of his age to be into a young man of Diddy's age.
That's what I understand too from seeing interviews and witnesses.
And
You're like, it was a little.
Yeah. They're really, let's say, close. Mm-hmm. And then Harrell took such a liking to Diddy that he offered him a dream job. He gave him a job as an intern at the label.
Wow.
While he was still in college. He was like a freshman in college. Mm-hmm. And so what Diddy started doing, Andre wanted him to quit college. Say, come work for me full time, which, whoa, hey, pump the brakes, buddy. This is a career that people spend, years trying to move up in. Yeah. And it's not easy. You start in the mailroom, then you start as an assistant, then you start as a this and a page, and then you move up to the assistant to this guy, then you get that guy's job. It's a long road.
And a lot, especially back then.
Yeah, very long road. But Diddy all of a sudden gets this dream job given to him. And Andre is not happy. Harrell apparently wasn't happy that he was only coming there as an intern. He said, you need to come full time. But Diddy's mom was like, nah, I need my son in school, which is the right thing for a mom to do.
Right.
And that, I guess, lasted for a few months or something. And then Harrell was like, nah, I'm enough of this. You need to come work full time. Hires Diddy at 20 years old. You ready for this? A 20-year-old young man gets hired as vice president of the label.
Jeez.
Because that's how much Harrell
wanted him around.
Around, right?
Yeah.
And, people speculate on why that relationship was that way. I can only speculate. I don't have any receipts, but some of the stories you hear are like, wow. And a lot of these people that are coming out and talking about these relationships are like, I got the receipts or whatever.
Yeah.
But you have to understand, so now they're thinking that, a lot of people are thinking that Harrell is grooming and getting favors, if you will,
right,
from Sean
P Diddy,
right? Mm-hmm. Then you find out, what is this here? Enough and enough. The last couple of weeks, is this?
This is his response on
his.
Oh, this is Diddy's response on Twitter.
Yeah.
To everything.
Yeah.
Can I read it?
Yeah.
Enough is enough, all capital letters. For the last couple of weeks, I sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me, by my individuals looking for a quick payday. Yeah, he's saying
this
that
is from December of 23.
Yeah, but this is ongoing.
This is an ongoing thing. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things I'm being alleged of. I will fight for my family, for my name, my family, and for the truth. Well, I don't know.
Now, real quick, this made me think. I want to get back to this timeline that you're on.
Yeah, I'm just having a good time talking about
it. Last I heard, nobody knows where he is. after these raids.
Yeah.
Now his attorney put out a statement saying, "Well, nothing's been charged. He hasn't been charged, and he hasn't. And none of his traveling has been restricted or anything like that."
But we got to talk about why the raids happened, because he's being accused of S trafficking,
Right.
and SAing a handful of people, and the latest being, I believe this young lady's name is Cassie.
There it is.
Ventura.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cassie.
Cassie Ventura is in the middle of is this the most recent one? The lawsuit? I think it might be.
I believe
Yes,
so.
it is.
Yeah,
She's an artist
alleging
as well.
Yes.
It goes by Cassie.
Yes,
Right.
alleging physical abuse, abuse, alleging these things, alleging, freaky sex, that kind of stuff. Like,
But also
he wanted other men to come and be with her so that he could observe it,
right.
and that kind of thing, and also physical violence, like punching and hitting and that kind of
And
thing.
along with that, remember the thing about him forcing her to carry his gun? Wasn't that part of it, or was that someone else? There was a thing where he would tell his girlfriend to make his girlfriend carry his gun for him, allegedly.
Okay, so I heard a thing about this with J-Lo. So the first time Diddy was going to be arrested, you remember that whole thing that went down where they were at a club and then somebody got shot and
In
killed?
the face.
Right.
Right.
Well,
and
not killed.
And then and apparently that night, from what people say, allegedly, speculatively, J-Lo was the one that carried the gun into the club. So I can see that if that was a pattern of his behavior, which, by the way, from a lot of the things I've been reading and listening to, he does have a pattern of blaming others, getting others in trouble, making other people take, the L for him, go to prison for him.
It's almost that gangster thing where
Yeah.
where the guys will say like, you take this L for me, I'll take care of your family.
Right.
Just like running that whole sort of mogul type deal.
That's exactly.
People come in, it's like, well, you do these favors for me if you want to get up in the world and all that.
And that's exactly what people are saying.
Right.
Doing, down to the people that did the acts. Like there are people serving time right now for things that they claim that he told them. And
I saw,
take
okay, you just remember something.
blame for.
You just reminded me of something that I saw actually this morning, where it was apparently someone got shot in the face when, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't have a word for that.
Anyway, yeah, someone got it in the
Somebody
in the
got,
grill.
hold on.
Well, you know what? Actually, it's funny.
I got it. Somebody got in the face.
Right. Well, when she was talking about it, actually, she kept going, well, and she would almost say it, and then she would say pow, pow. Like she didn't want to say it either. But apparently, somebody, I don't know the whole story because I just saw it, my memory, but because the girl was holding the gun, she went down for it or something, and he was like, no.
Yeah, this one I
the
haven't
victim
heard
was like, no, I saw P Diddy point the pow
Yep.
at McGrill.
And that's a lot of the things that happen. And this guy has that kind of money, by the way.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's got FU money. He's got like take the fall for me money. Because when you get home in 15 years, you're gonna have the best life possible with this money. But
Right. Not to mention he's taking care of you inside as well.
right.
So now he's a VP of this record label.
Okay, so now he's vice president of Uptown, and the first two artists that he signs is Craig Mack, who Flavor in Your Ear,
Yeah.
amazing,
And I remember.
and Biggie.
Yeah, he's not dumb. He's
And
not
Biggie,
a dumb guy.
And the thing is, with his relationship with Biggie, never went to a weird level because Biggie's like a real street dude, was a real street dude, and like, nah, this is business. I don't need to go to your little freaky parties. Because apparently he was having freaky parties.
You always
There
see
were
50
freaky
Cent
things going
talk about
on.
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, 50 had an interview on Breakfast Club where he talks about P Diddy saying, "Hey, let me take you shopping," and he was like real thrown off by that. He's like, "That's something you say to a girl, dude.
Yeah.
What do you need to take me shopping for?"
Right.
And then and it's interesting because you watch 50 talk about Diddy, and it's pretty clear he doesn't like the guy.
Right.
Pretty clear he doesn't like the guy. Cut to they have Diddy on the same show, Breakfast Club, and Diddy's on there like, "Ah, come on, that guy loves me. Nah, he loves me." No sense of awareness in this man, and I think you do get to a point in your life and at a level of success where you lose sense of self-awareness.
And a little bit of
Also-
reality as well.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yes.
think about it. You can buy anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
Also,
You can have any experience at the
anything you
highest
want.
level.
Yep.
What do you do from it?
Yep.
Right. And people say, oh, success and money changes you. I don't believe that one bit. I think success and money reveals who you really are. And I think that's what we're seeing and been seeing for the last few decades with Sean Combs. Because, he's got that kind of money. He's got that kind of lifestyle, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's got a lot of dosh.
So he signs these, and like you said, incredible business. Because say what you want about him, he's a genius.
Yeah.
This guy was a hit
Yeah.
machine, and he knew how to spot hits.
Hit makers.
I mean, think about it. When he was in college, here's what a forward-thinking genius I think this guy. When he was at college in the fraternity, he started a cab company that would pick up drunk students and get them home safely. This is before Uber.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that he had that business as a kid. I know that the first bit of trouble that he got into publicly was during those times. He would throw these huge parties. And I think there was like some sort of tragedy at a party where there was a stampede and some people got hurt and da-da-da.
And died, actually.
Right.
Yeah. Or, sorry, on a lot.
Yeah.
God, that's so difficult to figure this out.
They ceased they ceased to be.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're an old white guy.
Yeah,
I
you're
won't
an
hold
old
it against you.
You get away with it.
I'm already,
So now he's there. He's under the thumb of Andre Harrell, obviously. And there's those rumors that he's doing these favors for him. And how is this kid just getting all this love so immediately? And then you have to remember that a lot of this as abuse, SA, it is generational. Sometimes, and a lot of times, it's learned behavior. Because then you think about the history of Andre Harrell, where Andre Harrell came from. Andre Harrell's mentor, so Andre was Diddy's mentor. Harrell's mentor was Clive Davis. Now, Clive Davis was the very first huge music mogul to come out of the closet. So we all know who and what he prefers, right? And apparently him and Andre had that odd kind of people kind of going, relationship. You know, these guys are a little too close, kind of a vibe, right? And then next thing you know, he meets Diddy, Clive meets Diddy, and they're about to release Biggie's first album, Ready to Die. And the label puts the kibosh on it, says, we don't want to release this album because the lyrics are too vulgar. It's
right. They didn't like the message.
They didn't like the message it was sending. All it was Biggie telling his street stories.
Yeah.
He was telling the truth. So then Diddy gets fired from Uptown. And something like 2 months later, he starts Bad Boy. He starts Bad Boy Entertainment, starts Bad Boy Records, but he didn't have money for that. So how did he get the money? Arista. Clive Davis apparently took Diddy under his wing, which may have pissed Harrell off because he went around Harrell. Because Harrell was like our episode about the Royals. Harrell was next in line.
Yes.
After Davis. But next thing you know, Davis is like going around Harrell and going to Diddy and saying, here you go, kid, start Bad Boy.
Yeah.
You know, and all of this is under the Arista umbrella, all of this stuff. So now, you know, he's there. And apparently this young lady who's no longer with us, Kim Porter. Kim Porter was working at the label with Harrell, and apparently she may have walked in on Harrell doing favors for Davis.
When you say the label, which are we at Uptown already? Uptown. Okay.
Yeah, if I'm correct.
Not Arista.
No.
Okay.
But you know so there's people that witnessed that behavior between those two, and then you got Diddy just Diddying people and a lot, and having these outrageous parties with really super young people. And if you know anything about Kim Porter was married to an artist from our era that we loved, Al B. Sure. Woo! Al B. Sure was involved in Uptown. He was involved and had a baby and was married to Kim Porter. And then Kim Porter, you know, was then she ended up working with Clive Davis and Harrell, and it's all intertwined. All this shit is intertwined, right? Because then you have this latest thing out with this Ventura, Cassie, I think it's Cassie Ventura.
Yeah.
And that's who's suing him now and coming up with all these claims of just unbelievable behavior and immoral, you know, deplorable or whatever they say, behavior, and the things that he's done S-wise and physically abusive-wise. But here's the thing. A lot of people seem to cease to exist in Diddy's circles.
This is what I was going to mention too to you and ask you if you heard anything. Like back to Uptown Records, Albie Sure, Kim Porter, they weren't just they weren't just artists on the label. They had like executive titles.
Yeah, they were involved. They were involved
and
in the label,
there were like 5 main or something, and like they're dropping.
None of them are around anymore.
Yeah,
none of them around anymore except for Al. Be Sure, but we almost lost Al. We almost lost him. He went into a coma. Nobody knows how or why. And dude, like literally, almost lost his. He almost stopped living. Wherever you want to say it.
Wow.
And
so you got the people that are gone now. Heavy D, gone, and the cause of very suspicious in my opinion. Heavy D gone. Kim Porter gone. Andre Harrell gone.
Yeah.
Al B almost gone. One thing that all of those people had in common is they were all about to do a tell-all. They were either about to write a book or do a documentary about their experience at Uptown. And now none of them is here anymore.
Was Al B gonna before his
documentary?
And then he didn't?
I don't think it happened. He's going to do a documentary.
This just turned into true crime.
Right? Which I love. I love them true crimes. Good one. Yeah. These are their stories.
Yeah.
Anyway. So that's going on. So then I'm like, is this guy capable of that? So I start really deep diving. Turns out there's a lot of people and speculation and people believing that Diddy not only caused the demise of Tupac, because Keith D came out saying he offered him $1 million to take out Tupac.
That's what we talked about on our last episode about P Diddy. Yeah.
And the only reason that didn't happen is because Keefe's associate named Zip, I called him Zip. He was the man between taking the check from Diddy to get it to Keef. Mm-hmm. Well, of course, Hood being Hood, Zip kept the money. Okay. The very fact of that money not getting into the hands of Keef is what a lot of people are saying kept Diddy out of prison for the, of Pac.
Right.
Isn't that a trip?
Crazy.
Now, there's stories about remember when Pac got the first time in the studio in New York. Remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
So that night.
The elevator there, right?
Yeah. So Death Row took off. Death Row Records took off, and then Pac became arguably the biggest rapper in the world. And everybody wanted this dude to do a feature verse on their album. So he was out there to do a verse with Biggie. So he gets to the studio and some stuff goes down and it was weird. And then they shot him. He gets shot in the studio. And if you remember that classic photograph of Pac on the stretcher giving the finger, remember that?
Yeah.
I think so.
Uh-huh.
So
as I remember it, it was like, oh yeah, he was, flipping off the police.
He was just flipping life off because look, I made it.
Yeah,
That's not it at all. Apparently, he was flipping off Biggie. He was giving Biggie the finger because he thought immediately these dudes set me up. And and you might ask, why would he jump to that conclusion out of nowhere? Well, apparently it's not out of nowhere. Right. So that night, when he was going to the studio, allegedly, Sean Combs, Diddy, was calling him over and over and over again. When are you going to get here? When are you going to be here? What time are you going to get here? How come you're not here yet? Why aren't you here yet? When are you going to get here? And that's what put it in Pac's head that that guy was setting me up. Dude was setting me up. And then I thought, that's a stretch, right? Then I heard same sort of kind of thing happened with Biggie when he came out to LA to the Peterson Museum after party for the award show.
That's interesting to me.
So if you remember, we lost Biggie here in LA in the intersection of Wilshire and Fairfax. There was an after party for the awards show at the Peterson Museum, which, by the way, what a cool museum.
Still haven't gone.
It's amazing. When they do their Hot Wheel exhibit, we gotta go.
Definitely.
It's an automotive museum.
Yeah,
anyway,
I've been there. It's nice.
They had a big after party there, but Big didn't want to go. Biggie didn't even want to come to the West Coast. Biggie got in a car accident a few weeks prior and had a broken femur and didn't want to travel. And if you know anything about traveling, being a bigger guy, it's already uncomfortable.
Right.
Then you have a broken femur.
Right.
Guy didn't want to do it. Didn't want to do it. And Diddy's just on his case. You got to get out to LA. Then he says, we don't even need you at the award show. Just show up to the after party. He's like pressuring him to show up to that after party. Biggie and a lot of associates were like, I don't think it's a good idea for us to go out there. I don't think it's a good idea. There's too much pressure after the Pac thing. We shouldn't be going. I got this broken leg, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there they are. Wow, I love that picture. All three of them. Oof. That gave me chills.
Yeah, look at that pic.
Dang. And to think those two geniuses are no longer with us because of that dude back in the shadows. Damn. That's nuts.
I don't know if that's him. It might be him.
No, look at that bottom lip. That's 100% him.
Oh my God.
You notice that Diddy, hey, P Diddy, close your mouth.
Always
At
open.
some point, he's always,
Maybe that's his look. You know, like
Oh,
actresses
God.
have that
Why?
look.
You also said something about his name. Why?
puffy.
Because usually hip hop names are cool.
No, he changed his name. So it was Sean,
Well,
Yeah, but
Sean
why
Diddy.
Puffy?
Puffy is his
Puffy was
uh,
a previous name.
his mother named it.
Okay,
That was his
see, that's
nickname
what I'm
from his
saying.
mom. His mom said that when he was younger,
Horrible.
when he was a little kid and he would get angry, he would go, he would huff and puff.
Right.
And so they called him Puffy.
Okay.
And then, of course, when you're a rapper, you got to be daddy. So Puff Daddy.
I'm gonna be
Puffy,
blo-
Puff
I'm gonna
Daddy,
be bloaty.
P. Diddy,
Well, and now
Sean John.
now names are no longer cool. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, that's
I'm
why we
I'm
have
D
rappers.
Bloaty. That's my
That's
name.
why. Yeah, that's why we have rappers named Tyler.
That's funny.
What's your name? Tyler, the creator. Yeah, look at that picture. So, anyways,
He's like,
so he doesn't want to go. Doesn't want to go. And then another associate hits up to P. Diddy
so
and say,
again,
look,
what gets me is how you said he was like, oh, you don't even have to go to the award show.
yeah, he
Just
wanted
go to
them.
that party.
He was
Wow.
very adamant, apparently, allegedly, very adamant about getting to that party, to that specific event,
Okay.
right? And then before it happens, another associate, I can't remember who it was, hits Diddy up and says, look, man, they're going to come, you know what, us at this thing. It's planned.
Whoa.
This thing is going to happen. And Diddy's like, I want to hear that. Bullshit. No, we don't hear that. We're going to be safe. And he like told Biggie over and over again, don't worry, man. You're going to be totally safe. You're going to be totally taken care of. I don't want to go. I got a broken leg. Go to the thing. Just go to the party. Very adamant about getting him there. So then the thing's happening. And I believe it was Clive Davis all of a sudden says, hey, we need Biggie in London on that day to do a press junket. And that's huge. That was them saying, we're about to introduce Biggie to the world internationally, right?
Mhm.
You would think, as the owner of the label and the head of all this stuff, that Diddy would be like, yo, that's a great idea. Fuck the party. We need to go to this.
Right.
About to show the world. He got so mad and said, nah, squash that. He's not going to London. He's not going to that junket. I need him at that party.
Whoa. And who alleged that he said all this?
Several people. I can't remember the names.
Wow.
Keith said it. And yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that nuts? Gets him there. And so he's pressuring people to get him to the thing. And then I'm like, why would he do that with his best buddy, supposedly? Because he did all these songs afterwards. Those are the words. But people were on it. But apparently a lot of people, that what they are alleging and speculating is that this is crazy. He was using Biggie as a offering to end the West Coast, East Coast beef.
What?
That's what a lot of people think he was doing.
Wow.
Which, yikes.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Yeah.
And then there's people that say they got video of this stuff. There's people that say there's like, somebody's got a phone with all kinds of videos on it somewhere. Because now back to what happened this week.
Right. What's his
His
name?
houses get raided, and within moments, this guy's on his private jet is being tracked.
Leaving.
Weird stuff though. He flew from like Van Nuys to San Diego,
Okay.
and then San Diego to somewhere, and then into Antigua, out of the country. Which, by the way, Antigua, no extradition. Apparently,
Okay.
we see if that's true or not.
So
Yeah.
So you're saying he's going to a place where he's like, when shit
Either
goes
he's
down.
going there, or that airplane and whatever he put on that plane. That plane could be full of,
Was there any kind of warning about the raids? Because I know they did the two at the same time. Because you could say, "Oh, he's raiding my LA house. Let's get the shit out of the Miami house."
I don't know. I really don't know. Antigua signed an extradition treaty with the U.S. in '96, meaning what?
That they do have extradition.
So that they could extradite him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's but I don't know if he's that's another thing. They're tracking the airplane. They had no idea if he was on it or not.
Right. But as of now, well, who knows?
But think about it. You know, the whole Epstein thing with the plane and the logbooks and the and them hitting up Clinton and saying, "Yo, this is about to come out." Clinton was on that plane like 50-something times. And you know that they had some time. They got some stuff out of the way. But like, I'm thinking, what's on that plane? What laptops are on that plane? What phones are on that plane? You know?
Right.
Because he's got to have... Apparently, he was obsessed with videotaping stuff, too. Apparently,
the crazies, so many guys, I shouldn't say guys, but people who do those kinds of things, who are allegedly doing those kinds of crazy things, always videotape it.
Yeah.
They always...
Oh, my God. It's like serial killers.
Yeah.
Or like, it's like all the people that I watch on true crime that get caught. Hey, man, it's as easy as going to your Google history.
Right.
When your Google's history says, how long does it take a body to decompose?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, crazy people aren't necessarily, smart people, because there are a lot of genius, crazy folks out there.
Well, it's like they say in all of those movies, though, they people really do want to get caught. Nobody wants to do something like that and not get recognized.
Also, I think what happens is you do get to a place in your life where you have no repercussions. You feel like you're untouchable. You don't live in, they don't live in our reality. Diddy does not live in our reality and hasn't since he was a very young man. You know, right. You know, these people that are eccentric, they say, oh, they're just eccentric. No, they're not. They're crazy.
Right.
They're what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot, I can't think of it. But anyways, it's that you get to a level where like we were talking about someone earlier, where there's not enough people or any people in these people's lives that say, hey, man, you're kind of going too far. You might want to rein it in. Or simply, hey, man, no. You need people in their lives to say, don't do that. No.
Right.
And those people are your real friends. And they get upset with those real friends. And then they get rid of those friends because they just want yes men around them. Mm-hmm. People going, yup, just share the wealth, Diddy. Just please share the wealth. Yes. This is all good. But guess what? Not your real friends. Mm-hmm. Not your real friends. That's what you call hanger-ons and groupies. Mm-hmm. And yeah.
This one with this former rapper that's a producer of his, the one that's out now, where he named it, where there's a thing that was one of the princes were named in it, Cuba Gooding Jr. and all
Prince?
that.
What Prince? Like
you don't know any about this thing?
No.
Okay, so
what?
This thing
Lil
that
Rod.
Lil Rod, that's him, Lil Rod. And I saw a picture of him. He's not that little. You know what I mean? I don't get it. But he even had like photographs of
Cuba?
Of him in the studio and Cuba Gooding Jr. like sitting all creepily with his arm around him, and he's like, and he was claiming, and in that instant, at that time, he was like putting his hands between his legs on his ass, wow. And it was almost like it almost had the energy where he was being served up to Cuba by
Diddy,
by P Diddy, yeah.
Yeah, that was a story about them on a yacht.
That's right.
And P Diddy basically saying, get to know him a little bit more, and the guy feeling like very uncomfortable because he's putting his hands on him, and they didn't basically do anything about it.
Yeah,
that's part of the lawsuit. So
with this
there's a lot in that lawsuit. The plaintiff is Rodney Jones. I don't know who that is. That Lil Rod?
Lil Rod,
yeah,
man.
That's him.
Plaintiff, one guy, Rodney Jones, versus Sean Combs, Justin Dior Combs. That's his kid. His son is apparently a freak, allegedly a freak. Ethiopia Habeta, that's something. Lucien Charles Grange, Christina, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Love Records, 7, Motown Records, 8, 9, Universal Music Group. He's suing all of these people.
And he's naming a lot of names, but the Prince, though, is the one that we got.
Civil action.
What's his name, Jay?
Jury demand, huh?
The Prince that we have here now, the one that we were just talking about with the girl from Suits.
Harry.
Him. Yeah, he was just there hanging out apparently, and
a lot of guys.
He was not connected to any of the.
A lot of people just want to be seen with
stuff.
the right people, and then you get seen with the right people and realize, holy shit, those were the wrong.
But
people.
apparently, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s name is all over this thing. See if that had that picture where he's got his arm around him that they show. I see sometimes.
Oh,
See if you can find that. Just all you put is Lil Rod
Dang,
and Cuba Gooding Jr. trying to make it a big
why are
Rod.
you talking like that?
And it looked creepy, man. I'd be like pissed if I was Lil Rod.
Apparent agents committed one or more of the following: the transaction of any business within state, the making of any contact within state, the commission of a I don't know what that word is, tortious act within this district,
Sex with a
and
tortoise.
the ownership, use, or possession of any real estate in the state. Apparently it's alleged trafficking, trafficking, which means you're crossing states. You're bringing people across state lines and stuff like that.
Right.
Let me talk about Cuba for a minute. I heard some weird stuff about Cuba. If you remember, he played O.J. Simpson.
Horrible casting.
Really bad casting. Do you remember this?
Mhm.
He played O.J. Simpson in a docu.
Yeah. It's the one
whatever.
where Schwimmer played Kardashian, which was
So he played
amazing
O.J.
casting.
Now, we all know that O.J. lived in Brentwood. We all know that what was his wife's name? That woman.
Nicole.
We all know
Brown.
that Nicole Brown lived in Brentwood on Bundy.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that all that stuff took place over there in that neighborhood. So guess where Cuba Gooding Jr. decided to move to? He's going to get heavily into character now. So now he's moved.
Oh, you're talking about at the time of this shooting of this thing.
And after.
Okay.
He decided he's moving over there. There's a bar in Brentwood that apparently he's at all the time.
That's the pic of him. And see, he's not Lil at all.
There's a bar in Brentwood that apparently Cuba goes to by himself and just kind of like he hits on everybody, and he's really creepy.
Yeah, we're seeing for people who don't watch or just listening. There's a picture up, and it's Lil Rod in the headphones.
Yeah,
looks like he's in the middle of trying to produce a track or something.
Yeah, they're in the studio.
And Cuba Gooding Jr. has got like hanging all over him next to him in a really creepy way, with headphones on too.
Yikes!
And he looks, that's weird. But yeah, that's just one of a bunch of stuff that made that guy uncomfortable, I guess.
Yeah,
man.
This is a lot, man.
So Cuba's at this bar being
he's just a creep. But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's kind of doesn't seem like an altogether all the way there guy. And he got into some trouble. Didn't he get into some trouble with something? And he got canceled.
he got canceled.
He's been canceled.
What happened with him? What did he apparently do?
I'd have to hold on. I have to look it up. But keep going.
But yeah, this lawsuit that's happening now there's so much in there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, why Homeland Security? Why are they raiding? And I guess that they're the department that deals with the trafficking.
Right. That's true.
Stuff.
Yeah. And people got to understand too. I guess one of the criticisms from his lawyer is that it was so militant looking and it was overkill. But
they got to do what they got to do. You never know. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a lot of firearms in that house.
That's what they did it for. They were based on certain security measures that P Diddy has been known to take.
Yeah. Also, that house, the one in LA, anyways, is huge, huge. And a lot of these older mansions in Hollywood, in the hills, in Beverly Hills, they got like secret rooms. They got and secret
also
stairways and stuff.
People need to know as well that they gotta have. They don't just let them do that. They don't just let them raid. They had to have something that was convincing enough.
They had to have a warrant.
Go raid it.
They had to have a warrant. And when you get a warrant, you don't just go, okay, I'm going to get a warrant. The warrant has to be approved by a judge. You got to have the probable cause to get that warrant. And I'm not a lawyer, but this is the things I've learned in all of my training and watching true crime documentaries. Ding, 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 ding. Oh my gosh. That should be the theme song to this. Oh, that's some copyright. We're gonna have copyright issues. But yeah, I wanted to unpack a lot of that stuff. What do you guys think? What do you think's going on
with the P Diddy?
Well, I mean, usually when people come out with the, I will clear my name, we usually find out it was all true.
Yeah.
I think there's something there. There's just too much power, too much money.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go any further than that than to say that these things probably did happen. I mean, it seems like now you have a lot of guys coming out who were, previously macho males or seen as macho males, now sort of admitting to bisexual activity. and so it's like it's nothing new. We're just finding out that it's been going on behind the scenes this whole time.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think I think where there's smoke, there's fire. And I
Yeah.
don't know how deep it goes, but people are mentioning almost like the Harvey. Is it Harvey Weinstein? No, the other guy,
Epstein.
Epstein. There you
Island
go.
thing. Yeah, that guy.
The other Steen.
I honestly think
One of the
he.
Steens.
I think that Sean and Will are P Diddy. At one point or another, they did.
Maybe.
I think.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
And of course, this latest one with Cassie.
What gets me
suing
though,
him.
back to the lawyers thing, and you were saying how I'm going to clear my name.
Yeah.
There's a lot of what I see has become like popular phrasing now since it's very Trumpy in a way. The witch hunt and all that stuff.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And that when you start saying that kind of thing too, I'm like, oh, ooh, guilty.
Yeah.
But again, it's all alleged, folks.
Yeah.
Damn, look at this. The lawsuit against him by Cassie Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
First of all,
a
why would
lot of stuff. She's accusing him of R and decade long pattern of abuse that began when she was only 19.
Mm-hmm.
She's also alleging S trafficking, human trafficking, S battery,
yes.
S assault, and gender motivated violence. What is that among causes of action? Yo, what is that?
Maybe lady hating?
Just mad because she's a girl and
Yeah.
beat her
Gender
up.
motivated.
Yeah, apparently he broke one of these girls. He broke their nose. I can't remember if it was her or the Kim Porter. He punched her in the face and broke their nose, and then told everybody that was there witnessing it and everything, "Yo, we're gonna tell people that she fell down the stairs and hit her and hit her."
So
No,
it looks like that one was settled.
Cassie Ventura or the Kim Porter one?
No, the Cassie Ventura one was settled literally
Like a day-
24 hours
yeah, a day
later. They
after
settled
they
out of
did it.
court.
Oh,
Like, boom. Yeah.
and of
First
course,
of all, why
they
would she go
say-
by Cassie as a singer? I would use that's
I think
Cassie
her name
Ventura.
Her name
is
was
a
Cassandra,
cool
though.
name.
Yeah, Cassandra.
Cassie Ventura.
Yeah, her
That
name's
sounds awesome.
Cassandra, yeah. So they settled out of court probably for a hefty amount.
Oh,
And
imagine.
of course, they're going to
Great
say,
fee.
"I just didn't want a long, drawn out, ugly thing," and I feel like this is
Right. Also, remember
this
we're a
is
couple.
victory, because you got to understand a lot of times we don't want to find him guilty. In public opinion is in the court of public opinion, they're going to find him guilty.
Mhm.
But we always have to remember there are liars out there. There are people after money. I'm just
That's
saying
true.
a lot of these people with the things that they allegedly have seen and known is very interesting. And I'm wondering how this all is going to play out.
Yeah.
We're going to keep our eye on it. You're going to keep your
Yeah,
ears and eyes on it.
Definitely.
And we'll talk about this again. We'll put up some shorts or some extra videos and we're talking about this. But I think it's just so interesting because it's so many different worlds colliding that I love. Music, and hip hop I love, and true crime.
Yeah.
Music, true crime. Thank you guys for letting us talk about this a little bit here on Unidentical Pod. Make sure you continue to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell on YouTube. Make sure you leave us a rate and review, 5-star rating and a review on Spotify, iHeart, Apple Pod, wherever it is that you listen. And on behalf of myself, Jason Collins, David Collins, and
Yeah.
Solo Man, super producer here at the podcast place
The best podcast studio.
in Long Beach, California. Thank you guys so much. Talk to you later. Bye.
Unidentical.